Gotta be honest, thought we were gonna probably lose there at the end. Not gonna lie here. Didn't actually think we were gonna come away. Could not go to overtime. AD was fouled out, so you could not go to overtime. That certainly could not happen. Much closer than I thought it was going to be. I gotta update one thing here. Much closer than I thought it was going to be. To be honest with you, that was a really, really interesting game, exciting game. Kind of had a lot of emotions in it. Lakers last time they played the Rockets, they lost by what was it, 34, something along those lines. So had to get the W. Lakers found a way. Definitely not a perfect win. Had moments where you thought, hey, they're good to go. They'll be fine. This game's a wrap. Went up by 8. I think they went up by 10 at one point as well. And the Rockets just hung around. Whatever the hell the Rockets are, give them some credit because they play tough. They play really, really tough. But Lakers pull away with a win. Appreciate you guys tuning in. This is the post-game show on my YouTube channel here. Appreciate you guys being a part of it. Thank you for taking the time. I know there's plenty of places you guys can go to, so I appreciate you guys being right here. Good win. Good win. Listen, I was talking about this in the pregame show just to give you guys a little bit of an idea. Lakers only have one win against a team that's over 500 so far this year. They have one win against a team that's over 500. So this is win number 2. Now, I think the Phoenix Suns are at 6-6. I know they've won a couple in a row, but the Lakers have beat them. But in the games that they beat them, they were still below 500. The reason why I mentioned that is they need to start getting some wins against good quality teams. And I never would have thought that I would be saying a good quality win is against the Houston Rockets. But got to be honest with you, I think Rockets are going to be hanging around all season long. They're going to give themselves a shot to be one of these playoff teams. So Lakers over the Rockets, 105-104. Let me get into a few things that I want to get into before I start reading your comments. If you guys don't know how this works, leave any comments that you want there, and I'm going to do my best to try to get to them. Let's get started from here. So a couple things stick out to me. How are the Lakers so freaking hot and cold when it comes from three? Most of the time cold. But damn, when they can't hit a three, they can't hit a three. And I know we could look at that big three that Austin Reeves there hit at the end, but that was not a good possession. I got to be honest with you. I think Lakers got lucky to walk away with a W here, and I'll tell you what I mean. They had a couple possessions. Braun's fadeaway, that's not a good possession. He just hit a really tough shot. Austin Reeves' three, that's not a good possession. He just hit a really tough shot. The Rockets, once Anthony Davis came out of the game, gets fouled out, they went to Sengun a couple times in a row to pull them within, I think, a bucket. They got him to within one. Reeves missed a free throw, hit a free throw, and then they went and tied the game. Their possessions at the end were just better possessions. The Lakers just basically said, hey, LeBron, here's the ball. God bless America. We pray to the man above, and we hope you can do something with it. And when you have great players, sometimes you can depend on that. But I thought I guess this takes me back to the Austin Reeves three. It was a clutch three. It was a big three. It was huge, no question about it. But I did feel like towards the end of that game, I thought the Lakers, I thought they dodged one. Let's just put it that way. I'm not sure what the Rockets were doing on that final possession. Dillon Brooks basically fouled LeBron 4 times on that final possession. And all Bron had to do was just go hit one free throw. And Bron did hit that one free throw. So he did what he was supposed to do. But let me go back to what I was saying here. 6 of 29 from the three-point line. Just an awful, awful percentage for the Lakers. What they did do is they got to the free throw line a ton, took 29 free throws to just 10 for the Houston Rockets. So the Lakers were much more competitive from that perspective. Did leave 8 on the board there. This is not something we see very often, but how about this? Lakers out-rebound the Rockets 42-34. Offensive rebounds was 10-6. So those are some good stats for the Lakers because usually I feel like we're always struggling there. Still a lot of turnovers for the Lakers. They had 18 in the last game. The game before that, they had 23. That was a game against the Sacramento Kings. Another 18 for the Lakers tonight. They got to do a much better job of cleaning up the ball. They have not done that. And then give the Rockets some credit too. 35 assists. I'm impressed by the Rockets. I really am. I know we're talking LakeShow here, but there's certain teams that sometimes I watch and I'm like, hell, these guys come from? I know they made some acquisitions in the offseason. The biggest acquisition they made was Ime Udoka. That coach has got him doing what he needs to do. I thought for the Lakers, this is the second game in a row where LeBron just completely carries the Lakers. Give the man a lot of credit again tonight. He took 19 shots, Laker fans. He hit 14 of them. He got to the free throw line 7 or 9 times, hit 7 of them. He still ended up with 8 assists, 6 rebounds, 3 steals, 37 points. So LeBron, again, this is 2 games in a row, just incredible numbers, and just completely carries the Lakers. You take LeBron out of this game, Lakers are losing this game by 20. That's how important he was. That's how critical he was on every possession. And, obviously he had a lot to do with the Lakers winning this game. Even turnovers, only 2 turnovers for him is a nice low number to see. But LeBron, 40 minutes in a game against the Houston Rockets. He's logging in a lot of minutes. We're actually starting to stop talking about his minutes because it's just expected now. I don't think the Lakers really have a plan B. There is nothing else that you can do when it comes to this. If you're going to win games right now, if you're the Los Angeles Lakers, you got to have LeBron playing big-time minutes, and there's no way around it. There just really is no way around it. That's who the Lakers are. And if we thought by the time, because he was going into his 21st season, that, hey, maybe he could take a little load off his back, not happening. At least through the first, what are Lakers now? I think they're 7-6. I think 8-6. I want to say, 8-6. At least through the early part of the season, I think it's telling us it's very, very clear that you got to have Bron in and you got to have big time minutes. Played another 40 minutes tonight. I was telling Michael Thompson in the pregame show. Michael was in Portland for the game on Friday, obviously calling the game with John Ireland. And I told Michael, I said, Michael, help me understand this. You've watched basketball a lot longer than I have. How can you describe to me what you're seeing with Bron? And, he just goes, he's like, I've never seen anything like this. And he's starting to talk about other sports and what other athletes are doing in other sports, and that he doesn't like the comp of, well, Tom Brady did it till this age. He's like, no, quarterback, you can protect the quarterback. You can have a really good O-line for a quarterback, and they don't have to be as mobile as somebody like LeBron playing both sides of the floor and everything else and carrying a Lakers team. So he was excellent tonight. He was tremendous tonight. LeBron goes 14 of 19, 40 minutes of play at 37. I thought AD had a really good game too. Now, I know he hurt himself with foul trouble, but something happened today with Anthony Davis that I almost never see from the Los Angeles Lakers. And it doesn't typically make any sense to me, but this is just the reality of the Lakers. AD was getting fed in the block, fed him over and over and over again. And I don't remember a time, just being completely real with you on this one, I don't remember a time where he's got that much attention in the block. I don't remember a time where Anthony Davis just they kept going back to him. You know what? A double team comes, kick it out right back to him. I'm not saying it was happening the whole game, but there were definitely stints where AD was getting fed. 27 points, 10 rebounds, couple steals. He's got to do a better job with his fouls. Obviously can't put himself in a position to foul out in this game. That's part of the reason why I think the Lakers got a little bit lucky. I thought when AD fouled out, the chances of winning this game, if it went to overtime, I did not like the chances of the Lakers winning this game. But specifically, just for the mere fact that the Lakers, when you lose a guy like Anthony Davis, imagine what you lose on the defensive side. Imagine what you lose on the rebounding, everything else that comes to the table. And they won in regulation. So I was very impressed with that. But I did love how the Lakers really went out of their way to feed AD. 27 points for him. And then, look, you're always going to need a couple role players to contribute. I'll take this stat line from Austin Reeves 7 days a week, any day. I'll take this from Austin Reeves. 17, 6, and 6. That's a beautiful game from Austin Reeves. And it's not pretty. I will tell you one thing. Reeves I feel like, is it just me on this one with Reeves? I feel like he had the ability last year to really create and get past guys. Not getting past guys really anymore. I mean, it's tough sledding for him to get the shot he's looking for. Usually it's a little bit more difficult to get to the free throw line. But Reeves, 17 points, 6 rebounds, and 6 assists. After that, a lot of struggles. Torian Prince can't hit a shot if his life depends on it right now. Cam Reddish only shot 33%. D'Angelo Russell, they didn't even use him. Played 24 minutes. Him and Prince played the same. He went 1 for 8 from the field, 4 points. There was a stat coming into this game where D'Lo over his last 3 games, just a ridiculous percentage from the 3-point line. But that certainly wasn't there. Christian Wood couldn't hit a shot. There were a lot of guys. Even Rui, 4 for 10, ended up with 11 points. I will say this from the Lakers. It's a great team contribution. D'Angelo, 3 steals. Cam Reddish, 3 steals. LeBron, 3 steals. AD, 2 steals. Rui, 2 steals. So it seemed like everybody got involved in that category, which is obviously great to see. 13 total steals for the Lakers. But guys were either on, like AD, LeBron, and Austin Reeves, and I'll throw Rui into that category as well, 40% from the field, or they were just really, really off, like a number of the other guys I mentioned, Torian Prince, Cam Reddish, D'Lo, and Christian Wood. So overall for the Lakers, had to have it, was important to get it. You lost by 34 last time you played the Houston Rockets, so I think it's a good win overall for the Los Angeles Lakers. Not pretty. Sometimes it doesn't have to be pretty. Just grind out a win. And again, it's against a team that is playing good basketball in the Western Conference. So give the Lakers credit for that. Okay, let's take a look at some of your guys' comments here. I'm going to start from the beginning because I'm way, way behind. So let's get this started here. Bargain Shopper, another stressful game. Bargain Shopper, she's a consistent one on here. She shows up every day to work. Thank you. Appreciate you. Francis, another consistent one here. Let's go, he says. Let me find some comments here so then I could kind of take some of these subjects and go from there. The horrific 3-point shooting is what kept them in the game. Just be bad and not terrible, and they'd win by 7 or 10 points. BC, you're not wrong. Let me explain to you the terrible number that you're talking about. 6 of 29 is terrible. That's below 21%. So you're right about that. But, I will say something as well. And 29 threes is not a lot of 3-point attempts. So I don't think they were taking awful shots. But anybody who played basketball in their life, and of course not at this level, but anytime you play any basketball, and I don't care if it's high school, I don't care if it's, whatever competitive league that whatever the case is, you play pickup ball. When your shot's not falling, it's so funny to me sometimes. Take a couple dribbles in, see if you get to the free throw line, make your life a little bit easier. I feel like in the NBA, guys just get more and more stubborn about it. It's like, well, the next one's going. It's like, all right, well, it's not going. So why don't you just find an easier shot? Why don't you just try to get to the basket? Why don't you try to draw a foul? Why don't you? There's so many different ways that, you can obviously find a way to. I'm watching the replay of Sengun hitting that shot over Braun in the final couple of seconds. Braun actually got lucky that he didn't get called for a foul. Looked like he hit him on the wrist there. Braun made it interesting, too, by missing the first free throw. So, BC, I agree with you. I don't disagree. You just gotta hit some of those shots. But ultimately, at the end of the day, the 6 of 29 and being so bad from the 3-point line, I always ask, why don't they make their lives a little bit easier and just try to get a little bit closer to the basket? Paul, ugly win. Not wrong there. We got to play more post up for Rui and Woods. Yeah, there isn't that much attention paid to those guys. That part is true. Rui is kind of on and off. There are times where Rui looks super smooth, and then there's times where I'm telling myself, I feel like Rui's in his own head trying to make a decision here. This is the one that I'm going to go back to. By the way, great comments, and I've literally just started with these, but I love these because they're such a great way to get good conversation going, get good dialogue going. Need LeBron to score 37 to win. That's a concern, by the way. That's a concern. No question about it. That one's a concern. So, why is that a concern? It's a concern because we're in November, not even 20th yet. Bron has to score 37 and he has to play 40 minutes to beat the Rockets at home. At home. With Anthony Davis doing everything that he did. So I'm with you. I'm with you that that's not something that you usually want to see. You wish that the wins were coming a little bit easier, but that has not been the case so far. All right, here's the super. Find this. Joser. By the way, you sent a super. Front of the line. So thank you very much for being a part of the show, and thank you for the super. Great win. LeBron won the game for us tonight. By the way, thinking of buying a $1,500 game ticket and fly 12 hours just to watch the Boston Christmas Day game. You only live once. My brother, if that's something you're able to do, if that's something you can make happen, that's awesome. And if you do end up coming to that game, I'll be at that game. So you got to make sure that you come meet up with me in pregame, and we could at least cross paths and say hello to each other. I think the key point here, LeBron won the game tonight. Absolutely, 100%. Bron won the game, and there's no other way to put it. He did. And I think there's times I think we could marvel at his greatness, and then we could also say to ourselves, Jesus, we need Bron to do this every night. How? That's not sustainable. It's not sustainable. So that's why it's important for so many of those other role players to be a part of the show. Thank you for the super, brother. I appreciate it. Okay, we got another one. Kostas, thank you for being a part of the show. Win is a win, and LeBron is a king. Come to Grease Sound so we can discuss it. I like it, Kostas. Look, Kostas is doing something. He's from an area of the world that is absolutely beautiful, and he's trying to get me in, you know? Maybe one day, Kostas. Maybe one day. I've been to Greece. Been to Athens before. Been to a couple of the islands there. When I was in college, I did some backpacking. I had a stop there in Greece. Kostas, thank you for the super. I appreciate it. Okay, let's go back to where we were. I got to stop shooting threes here. LeBron and AD carried us tonight. Absolutely. Do you teach at the local box? I'm really happy you asked that question. I don't even think I need to answer it. I think you already know the answer. You know what I'm saying? I think you already know the answer. All right. Read one more here real quick, and then a couple other things I want to get into. Rockets are no joke. Does that not say something about the Western Conference? That in the West, you just can't take any days off. That in the West, even a team that, we were all looking at not paying all that much attention to in the Houston Rockets coming into the season. And now Houston's another team that it looks like may very well, look at the NBA standings here real quick. May very well be a team to reckon with, may very well be a team that you got to get through in the West, may very well be a squad that is another team to have to pay attention to. I'm with you that they're no joke. They play hard. Even if we wanted to have the excuse last time of, oh well, no big deal. Anthony Davis wasn't there. I mean, they got their ass kicked by 34, so I don't know how you could say that. But let's take a look here. Look at the Western Conference. How interesting does this look? My screen sharing here. Okay. How interesting is this so far in the West? Minnesota and the Oklahoma City Thunder are 1-2. Thunder, watch out. I was listening. I was watching highlights actually of the Thunder and the Warriors, and I thought if I heard them correctly, actually I'm gonna probably get this wrong, but they basically have double-digit first-round draft picks over the next whatever window that is. It's the next. I don't know if it's 3-4 years, maybe 5 years at the most, maybe even less than that. But not only do they have the team that they have, not only do they have one of the best players in the NBA in Shai Gilgeous and Josh Giddey and Chet Holmgren, who's just started playing at 38 yesterday. These dudes are stockpiled with picks. So here's the point that I was making, okay? Denver, don't pay attention to them. They'll be there. They'll be fine. They just don't have Jamal Murray right now. Sacramento, the only reason why they went on a losing streak is because De'Aaron Fox was out. Since he came back, they've won 6 in a row. Dallas, I'm still not sure how good they are. Here are the Lakers after that. Then you got the Rockets. Phoenix actually has won some games. They've won 3 in a row. So I take that back of just beating one team over 500. They're over 500 now. New Orleans, Golden State, Clippers. Look at Clippers 4-7. It's just a lot of good teams. I mean, the team with the worst record in the NBA has got Wemby at 3-10. There's a lot of good teams in the NBA. That's just, so when I see that comment, Rockets are no joke. The West is no joke. You don't have any nights off. All right, let me see what I got here. All right, it says, dude, Allen, you are early this time, bro. I like it. I love it. Yeah, I know. I'm trying to get my timing down. A lot of stuff that you got to go. I got to update kind of the thumbnail that I have. I got to put the proper score. So, I'm trying to work it here. Big Al should have never been this close. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it should have never been this close or that's just what the Rockets are and this is what Lakers are. Listen, Lakers hit some threes. I agree. They looked like a 8-point lead, 10-point lead at one point. So you thought, you're feeling good about where the Lakers were. And then next thing you know, this is kind of the Lakers. Listen, I've said this before and I'll say it again. I'm still trying to figure out what the Lakers are. I don't think anyone on this chat, I don't think anybody that has watched Lakers basketball on a consistent basis this year, and I'm also talking about the Laker coaching staff, can sit here and tell you, ooh, I know exactly what the identity of this Lakers team is. That's a tough sell. That really, really is a tough sell. And it's not something that I believe in that, at least at the moment. I think it's going to take more time. Okay, let me shout out Underdog Fantasy here real quick. Underdog Fantasy is nice enough to be my first official partner on my YouTube channel on Hoops Talk. And I'm so happy to have them aboard. And I want to just kind of point this out to everybody that's spending time on these post-game shows. There's a code here that you can use if you go to Underdog Fantasy. And if you use that code HOOPSLA, you get $100 deposit match that Underdog Fantasy would put into place. So what does that mean? It just means if you're somebody that likes these daily fantasy sites, you want to play stuff during games. It's very simple how this works. You put $50 by using the code HOOPSLA, they'll give you $50. That's $100. Kind of a no-brainer if this is something that you like. If you put $100, they'll match that 100. You have $200 in your account. So the way I always do this, I do pick'ems. I come down here. I hit pregame because pregame are games that have not been played yet. You could also do in-game, but I do pregame. I go to the NBA. I had a couple picks earlier today. I actually got one thing right. I got D'Angelo Russell minus, I think, 15. He only had 4, so I did the less than the odds that were there. You pick 2 picks. That's it. Let's do this. Let's go Clippers Spurs since I'm going to do some hating here. Kawhi against San Antonio, I'll go lower. Let me go Wembanyama to find the other one if he's available. He is. I'll go lower. I'll take both guys lower. Let me drop $20 into that game. If I get these 2 right, it pays $60. I hit submit. I hit confirm. I'm done. Those are my entries. I got to follow them tomorrow, and that's all you got to do. Just put that code in, HOOPSLA. If you guys don't mind, if you support the channel and DFS is something that you guys do, please support me on Underdog Fantasy. I appreciate that. Okay, let's get to some more of your comments here. Man, I got literally into nothing so far. There's so many comments here I have not gotten to yet. Let me see what we got here. We're bricking threes. AR-15. Austin Reeves was nice. He had some moments. This takes me back to the day. I think for those who don't know, what this basically means is anytime I start live streaming, I have a lot of people who like tuning into what I'm doing. They grab the wife, they grab the kids, and they're like, guys, everybody get in here. Slee was about to live stream, and it becomes a very family-oriented event. People have told me that, Al, hey, I used to have some trouble in my marriage, but ever since we started live streaming you for the Lakers post, our lives just changed, and all of a sudden our relationship has never been closer. You know, I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. D'Lo was low tonight. Okay, I've had plenty of people do this, and I'm gonna go ahead and react to this. I've had people tell me, "Al, you're always hating on D'Angelo Russell. You're always hating on D'Angelo Russell." Is tonight a good example of what Darvin Ham feels about D'Lo? Is it not a good example? My man, I can't even put you in the game. That's my fear with D'Angelo Russell. Not that D'Lo can't have moments, can't have games. He's had a couple of games where he had 11 assists, and it's beautiful. I love watching it. He was really efficient from three in some games. The problem with D'Lo is when he's bad, he's awful. And then you start asking yourself, can we have this dude in? Can we rely on his defense? Should we have him in big time games? The answer is no. I mean, we saw what happened in the playoffs. So I just don't have when people say, "Al, you're hating on D'Lo." No, there's a difference between hating on a player and needing a player to show you that he's worthy to have closing minutes. Don't ask me. Go look at Darvin Ham. Darvin Ham clearly in a lot of these games where it's close, I don't see D'Lo out on the floor. That should tell you enough right there. And he struggled tonight. So maybe it was just as simple as that he was struggling. But every time I feel like the same people tell me I hate on D'Lo. Are we not watching the same thing? All D'Lo's got to do is deliver in crunch time, improve on the defensive side of the ball, and he'll shut people like me up. But the only reason why I run my mouth is because Darvin Ham decides that he's not going to play him towards some of these games, especially at the end. All right, here we go. Allen, LeBron needs help. Not sustainable, brother. It's not sustainable for him to look. This is the thing that I think a lot of people are recognizing. Which, by the way, is I respect how much of you guys know the game to say, hey, I don't think you can just keep relying on Braun to doing what he's doing. Braun's talking right now, feeling good about himself. I'm not sure I've seen you give it too small on the court before. He's feeling good about himself. 37 points, 6 rebounds, 8 assists. It's amazing what he's doing. Go look at his stats. The Blazer game and the Rockets game. Let me go back one game. I'm going to give you his last 2 games. Okay? So Lakers, Blazers. Losing my voice here. I sound like I'm going through puberty. Braun on Friday night played 35 minutes, 13 of 22 from the field, 35 points, 9 assists, 5 rebounds. Tonight, LeBron, 2 days later, plays 40 minutes, 14 and 19 from the field, 37, 8, and 6. I love it. We all love it. It's amazing. I'm going to sit here like everyone else and tip my cap and appreciate it and go through all that. All of us are. He's still in his 21st season. He's 38 years old. So the dude needs some help. I'm with everybody on that. If the man does need some help. Listening to the broadcast tonight, I was listening to Stu and Billy Mack. And it's funny. Stu always talks about it. Stu almost just laughs. Look, Stu Lance is an OG. The guy's been calling Laker games for I don't know how many decades now. But, man, how about this? When I was 10, 11 years old, I think I've told the story before, I would go, Lakers would play one preseason game down in San Diego at the sports arena. And I would wait. I would wait till after the game was done to get a chance to meet Chicken Stu. That was when I was 10, right? That's 30 years ago. So the guy's been doing it for a long time, and he was talking about on the broadcast. He's like, they make the game too difficult sometimes. Give AD to the damn ball in the post and let him go to work. And if they double, cool, kick it out and kick it back into him. And tonight was one of the first nights, I feel like in a while, where we got a chance to see the Lakers constantly go down low to Anthony Davis, which is a smart thing to do. And AD, you get other teams into foul trouble. There's a lot of positives that come with it. So that was an observation that I don't think was just you guys. But it is definitely definitely an observation that I think a lot of people had. All right, what else we got here? Francis, I did not like how we use our challenge. Thank you for the super brother. Appreciate that. Did not like how we use our challenge. Let me try to think which one. I think we used the challenge. Was that the Anthony Davis, I think, offensive call, which was an offensive foul? I remember that. I think they used that one just specifically because they wanted to try to see if they can avoid Anthony Davis's, ended up fouling out. So I don't know what number that was. That might have been his fourth or fifth foul, something along those lines. Fanches, thank you for the super here. Thank you very much for the super awesome powers. Thank you, brother. I appreciate that. Very, very nice of you. Okay, let's get into a couple more of these, and then I want to start talking about the Lakers schedule coming up here. Steph was injured for a long time. So yeah. So I'm basically in LA like 26 days out of the week. So it's really not kind of a back and forth. I'm here a lot. And when I drive back up, I'm so used to it. It's no problem. Thank you for asking. I appreciate that. What else we got here? I better just get up to the front because yeah, let's do some roll call here. Some people want some roll call. Let's get in some roll call. Roll call, simple as this. If you want to let me know where you're tuning in from, I will give you a shout and whatever city, state, wherever you are, country, I'll give you a shout. We'll go from there. Okay, let me kind of preview a little bit of what the Lakers got coming up here. So they got Utah coming up, and that's a chance to go 4-0 in in-season tournament play. So they've already got an in-season tournament win against who'd they play so far? They got an in-season tournament win against Phoenix, Memphis, Portland. By the way, that must be the worst group. These teams are not good that are in this. And then Lakers got Utah coming up as well. Utah, who I thought was kind of building something from last year, they're 4-9. They're not a good team. So Lakers will look to try to take advantage of that and do some work on Tuesday. So that means they're going to be 4-0 if they win that game in their group play. More importantly, they would be 9-6 would be their record, which is the only thing I'm paying attention to is what's their record in the Western Conference, not necessarily the group play. What's funky about this is there's going to come a point in the schedule in that first week of October or December where we have no idea who the heck they're playing. And we have no idea what that schedule looks like. They're going to have some regular season games, but who they're going to play is not determined yet. Obviously, the in-season, depending on how many games they play, we have no idea who they're going to play there. So I don't really know what's going on with the rest of the regular season schedule, but it will get figured out. And I think maybe there's some intrigue because it's a really unique tournament that nobody knows about. But what I do know is this. They got Utah coming up. They got Dallas coming up. Dallas will be a tough game. Can they, by the time they get to Thanksgiving, they're 8-6 right now. You got 2 home games right in front of you. Can you handle the Utah Jazz and the Dallas Mavericks? Utah, you're going to be expected to beat. And then Dallas, I think, is an interesting game, right? Luka, Kyrie, I think Grant Williams, Tim Hardaway Jr. I think they got an interesting game coming up against Dallas. But, to be honest, Lakers fans, to start 3-5 the way they did, and if they can find by the time you get to Thanksgiving, kind of win a few of these at home that you're supposed to be winning, 10-6 is a good record. I'll take 10-6 all day long. You're going to go out on the road after that. You're at Cleveland. You're at Philly. Detroit's a free fall. And then you're at OKC. So you're going to have 3 or 4 games that are going to be really tough. So I think that 10-6 is it's needed because of some of those games that you're going to have coming up. I know I'm getting a little ahead of myself here, but I think we always look at the schedule and, we start trying to kind of pay attention to where they are and where they could potentially be. That's always, in my mind, it's always good to kind of look ahead. And they got some very, very winnable games, especially against the Utah Jazz. And then they're going to run into a tough part of their schedule. That's the NBA. They went through a pretty easy stretch here this last week and a half. The only real tough game that they had was Sacramento. They lost that one. This one was a tough one as well. Could have gone either way, but the Lakers found a way to win. All right, let me read some of your guys' comments here real quick. Let's see what we got here. All right. Turning ways, still physical freight train on the court. Slee, don't forget the milk. I like that. Okay, Redondo, Rochester, New York, Philippines. By the way, that's so much easier for me to do, to say, okay, hey, let's do roll call, and then go back to what I was doing, and then come back, and all these are already listed. The DBC in the house. Where Bainbridge Island, thank you for being a part of the show. Temple City in the house, always a regular. Long Beach, Anaheim, South Carolina, thank you for being here. San Marcos, California. California, let's see what else we got here. UPS, thank you, my brother. Been a listener here for a long time on this on the show. Lakewood. I gotta look back. When did I start my YouTube? I probably had this channel for 6-7 years. But the whole time I've been at, obviously at ESPN, so and my roles have kind of changed over there. So I've done what I can. But the YouTube portion, I'm telling you guys, this is going to become more and more the regular, and really kind of trying to turn it into something bigger. Albuquerque, New Mexico, soon to be home of the In-N-Out Burger franchise. I saw that. They're about to New Mexico's about to get some In-N-Outs in the state there. All right, see what we got here. Africa in the house. Thank you, Africa. Thank you for being a part of the show. Clovis. San Juan Capistrano. Yeah, that's a pretty nice area to live. This will always be the post-game show after the post-game show. Love your style and humor. It separates you from the rest of the field. Thank you, my brother. Appreciate that very much. Appreciate that. Oh, I love that name. Post-game after the post-game. I might as well just call this post-game after the post-game. Who cares? All right. Thunder 10-4. Guam in the house. Moscow, thank you for being a part of the show very much. The Riverside in the house. Facts. Kyrie always seems to show up against Lakers. It's going to be a fun game. I don't think there's any doubt about it. That's going to be a fun game. Costa Rica, thank you for being here. Another concern that people have, and I'm sure everybody has it, on how long LeBron can be doing this for, especially at this late in the game in his career. Australia, thank you for being part of the show. Utah, Maryland, Bell Gardens, all of you. Thank you. Muscoy, California, Cal State Fullerton in the house. Thank you all for being part of the show. Thank you. Okay. Laker fans, I think the only other thing that I want to get into, and this will be my final topic here, is kind of gauging what the Lakers are right now. My concern, I would tell you, is this. My concern with the Lakers is, unless all these other players, I guess this is going to help recap tonight's game, unless all these other players can be more consistent, more reliable. The Lakers' entire season was predicated on how much depth that they have. Unless those players can start being more consistent, unless those players, you kind of have a really good idea of, like, hey, we close with these 5. These are our starters that we're going to have. This is our best rotation. This is a rotation that struggles. That's the one area I would say for the Lakers that's most important for me to see over these next, let's say, 30 days. They're going to eventually get Jared Vanderbilt back. I think that's going to play a big part to what happens next. But there are times I look at this Lakers team, and it's Christian Wood, it's Cam Reddish, it's D'Lo, it's Austin Reeves. I'm not really sure what they're getting, what the Lakers are getting every night. I know AD and Bron are going to be fantastic. I know that. But they're always going to be fantastic. But teams can't win off just 2 players having to. Well, okay, what happens if AD misses a couple games or Bron misses a couple games? What happens to the Lakers' chances of winning? And I know that's easy to say. You take off the best player, the second best player on anybody's team, they're going to struggle. But I do think ultimately for the Lake Show, they still got a long way to go. And I don't think there's any sugarcoating that. I do believe they have a long way to go. And hopefully that's obviously something that the Lakers kind of start creating an identity sooner than later. SDSU hat, Slee, yes, sir. Final Four hat. Look, I'm an Aztec. I'm San Diego State University. All right. So I think we're gonna end it at that. Thank you very much for being a part of the show, Laker fans. Always love what we have 250 live, something like that today, maybe a little more, something along those lines. Greatly appreciate you guys coming on here to hang out with me. Whether you're tuning in live or you're tuning in, after the stream is over, whenever it is, it feels like anywhere from 4 to 6,000 views after one of these post game shows. So that's fantastic, and only want to grow it. So thank you very much for doing it. I appreciate it. We're all done for tonight. Lakers, Rockets, 105-104. I'll be back Tuesday night after the Lakers take on the Utah Jazz, and we'll do it all over again. Thanks, Lake fans. Appreciate it. Hope you guys have a great rest of your night.